Thank you all for being here today. Really excited to feel the energy. It is finals week, but there's a lot of positive energy here today. So I just want to say I appreciate you all being here today. Thank you. Please come on in. So it's a big day for me. The Hale Research Lab has been a project that we started versions of it over the years. This year has scaled and has grown in such a big way, and it has a lot to do with the community that we have developed, whether they're students, faculty members, community members, previous fellows that have come back to always invest in what we have created over here. As I was preparing for today's presentation, I was like, how do I tell the story of what I think is probably one of the most successful things that I have worked on throughout my career? The best way I could tell you the story is this right here is a frame that I have right by my door where the light switch is. It has a Post-it note on it. And before I tell you what's on the Post-it note, I will tell you that a faculty member, and you all are approaching finals week, so this is a tip for you all. Faculty members and people that mentor you want to hear from you about the impact that they've had in your life. So at the end of every semester, every year, I've been grateful. My students write notes. They give me cards, and I value those. I have drawers filled of notes. This one is posted on my wall by my light switch, because every day when I go in, I turn on my lights. I see this. Before I leave for the day, turn off my lights. I see this. So you're probably wondering what's on the Post-it note. So that's what it says on the Post-it note. It says, "Thank you for building my scaffolding." This is such a powerful statement for many reasons, but I will tell you why I find it extremely powerful. As mentors, as educators, as community members, our goal is to build each other up and provide that scaffolding. Eventually, you'll have such a strong foundation that you no longer need the scaffolding. So as a mentor, my goal is to not be needed again. To build such a strong foundation that my students, my team members, my colleagues, anybody working with me no longer needs me because we've done such a great job investing in the foundation. And that's what the Hale Research Lab is. You're going to hear stories today from students about that scaffolding. They probably didn't put that language into place, right? They never thought of it as scaffolding, but I want you to think about your journey through life as building that scaffolding and having people invest in building that space for you. So this is not my idea, okay? The scaffolding idea. I've been doing it for years. I never had a word for it. And the student that wrote this has graduated several years ago at this point, but continues to invest, and I will point her out, Becca. Becca, thanks for coming back today. Give her a round of applause, please. This idea is flushed out in a really important book, and that book is Adam Grant's Hidden Potential. So as we build our scaffolding together for the next year, because today is the beginning of next year's work, all of you are here today, and I would not be a great professor if I did not give you a homework assignment for summer. Your summer project, whether you are a chair of a department, a faculty member, student, community member, all of us that are involved here are going to have the same project this summer, and that is to read Hidden Potential. Does that sound like a great project? Are you excited? Oh, wow. That was not very convincing. Yes, after finals we'll talk, but I encourage you to buy the book. You could get the audiobook if you want. It's such a great book that I have it in hard copy, the paperback, and audio version. Okay? It is one of those books that kind of represents everything that I believe about the importance of how do we help people find their hidden potential. And that's what the Hale Research Lab is. So I appreciate you all spending your time and wanting to hear our stories today. I will give you a little bit of background about what the Hale Research Lab is. The Hale Research Lab is designed to be foster a vibrant research culture within the Hale College of Business by bringing together faculty mentors and students. One thing that has come out of this is we've actually embraced more of our community here as well. So although our goal was faculty and students, we've had community members come to hear our presentations, to network, and to learn about the cutting edge research that is happening in the world of business. A year ago, Fawaz and I were working together. We had a vision of building this, and over the past year, you all have been invested in building this with us. So thank you for doing that. As far as impact, on campus, we reached 245 students through our guest lectures, right? So these students met every week, every semester. But we had external speakers come in, and for those external speakers, we had 245 people from our community join us. We also hosted the Econ games, so if you count that impact, we reached another 200 people. So for a program that started last year with just this desire to do more and bring community together, I would say 445 people as impact is a big success. Thank you. At the beginning of the year, I told students, hey, students, for the person that's most engaged, I will give you an incentive or a reward. I'm an economist after all. So I couldn't pick one person because these 11 individuals showed up to every meeting. They attended the Econ games. They were engaged. We have a WhatsApp group together. They are helping each other find jobs, internships, and I couldn't be more proud of them. If you're part of this group, can you stand up, please? All right. As a gift to you all, back there you have a backpack that says Hale Research Lab on it. You have a Stanley tumbler that says Hale Research Lab on it. And Jenny, can you show me the... And then you have a coaster that says Econ Games on it, so when you go to your summer jobs, you're fully equipped. So thank you all for being such big community members. One thing I want to highlight is we also have some terminology that I want everybody to be comfortable with. We have what we call Hale Fellows. You could participate in the Hale Research Lab, but not everybody becomes a Hale Fellow. How do you become a Hale Fellow? You have to attend the Hale Research Lab. You have to write a paper or some research output. And most importantly, you have to present it externally. So these are the 4 individuals that were able to present and meet all of those requirements. So can we get a round of applause for them, please? I'm happy to announce that we just finalized our list for next year's research lab. We are admitting 21 students. Our goal was 20 students, but we've had some strong applications that we could not pass on. So we are expanding the program to 21 students that will be engaged over the academic year or until they graduate. Some people are graduating in December, with the research lab in the future. If you are part of next year's research lab, can you stand up? Thank you so much. I am excited to work with you. I'm excited to do the work that I love to do, but it would not be possible without us also expanding our research mentors. So next year, we're expanding our research mentors to include 6, 5 other than me. Research mentors, if you are here, can you please stand up? Thank you all for making this, allowing it to scale. If you are a research lab participant, I encourage you to meet with the research lab mentors before they leave today. All right. One thing that I do want to highlight is there are people that work behind the scene to advocate for the research lab. And I want to recognize somebody that has attended every research lab speaker series, that has advocated for the work that we are doing, and has always been encouraging to make sure that we know that the work is impactful. And that faculty this year, Dr. Fatimi. From the research lab, we have a thank you card and some brand swag for you. Managing the logistics of student travel and space and all of the paperwork is a big ask, and Amberly has made that process so easy. Without her, the Hale Research Lab literally would not exist. So thank you, Amberly, for all you do. All right. So I have the pleasure to introduce our first speaker today, Lynn Nguyen. All right, I did a good job. She's been trying to teach me how to pronounce it correctly. I don't actually, but that is the Americanized way, and we'll go with it. But Lynn has been such an instrumental part of our community. She came in wanting to be engaged, but not knowing where she fits. And she quickly found the place where she fit in our community and has taken advantage of it 100%. So much, she does such a good job with this one thing that she is so prideful about, that anytime I have to do this task, I call on her. And Lynn is a marketing major, but she is a wizard at PowerPoint slides. So today's PowerPoint deck is entirely Lynn's doing. So Lynn, come on up, please.
Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Dr. A, for all the kind words. I am blushing right now, but welcome everyone. My name is Lynn Nguyen. I'm a marketing major with a minor in business analytics. This year I had a chance to work with Dr. A as well as other Hale Fellows member and participate in the Econ games. And I know what you're thinking, marketing major, Econ games. That doesn't even make sense, right? Well, today I'm here to tell you that not only it did make sense, it turned out to be one of the best learning experiences I've had in college so far. But before I get into my story, let me ask our new Hale Research Lab member here something real quick. Who here feels a little bit nervous about being a Hale Fellow member? Okay, yeah, that's normal. Anyone feeling excited? Well, that's awesome because I was definitely both when I first started. I was excited, but also kind of overwhelmed. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into at first. It was all started in my second semester of my sophomore year. I was taking a class with Professor Patel at that time, and he posted a lot on LinkedIn about the Econ games. And then I thought, well, that looks really cool. Great resume builder. And then I saw some of the familiar faces of my friends. Kyle Wynn, Fawaz were in it too, Kaya, Luo. And even though they didn't win, I was like, well, then I'll join and I'll win next year. But, but the truth is, I had no idea where to start. Fast forward to the beginning of my junior year, I saw a flyer posted by Fawaz, who's a Hale Fellow that I really looked up to. And I was so curious, and I texted him immediately. The first thing that I texted him was, hey, how can I join this program? And he said, what are you doing tomorrow by 12 p.m.? Really straightforward. And then I flooded his inbox with questions. And then the next day, I got to meet Dr. A at 12 p.m. And then while I was finally getting a little bit sense of what I might be stepping into, I still didn't fully know what I was signing up for. But I know there's one thing I knew for a fact, that I was in a community where I can learn and grow. And then I joined the Econ games. So this year, the data was sponsored by 3CDC. They gave us real-world data to analyze, and the question was to solve an economic development issue for the city. We competed with 19 other schools from across the country, and no, we didn't make it into the final presentation, but I feel like we walked away with so much more than a big old fancy check. And as a marketing major myself, I knew I wasn't going to be the one doing all the economic analysis or crunching regression models, but I brought other skills to the table. One of my biggest contribution was slide design and storytelling. I make sure our slides not only look polished, professional, but also make sure our ideas were communicated clearly and persuasively, which is so important in competition like this when you only have a few minutes to make impressions, right? And it's easier for people to digest complicated stuff if it looks good. This was our final presentation for the Econ Games this year. And Dr. A said that it was one of, if not the best, presentation in the competition. And I'm really proud of our team. I also really lean into collaboration. And to be honest, that was one of my favorite parts of the experience. We had a really diverse team with different majors, different backgrounds, different strengths, and we worked together so well. We played to each other's strengths, we stayed organized, and we really enjoyed the process, even during those high pressure moments. We only have 24 hours to work on this project, so it was a lot. We even called each other baddies, or the baddies team. We always had each other's back. We cheer each other on, kept the energy up, and make sure no one felt overwhelmed or alone in the work. Even though we didn't make the final cut, I was genuinely proud of how we handled everything, the feedback, the pressure, and the data. And it reminded me that even if you're not an econ major, you still have so much more to contribute, whether it's communication, creativity, or just being the kind of teammate who lifts everyone up. And this experience also reminded me that economics and marketing are more connected than they seem. So in both fields, you're working with data, you're solving problems, you're thinking critically on how people behave and make decisions. And I'll be honest with everyone, this experience stuck with me. 2 nights after the Econ Games ended, I literally could not sleep well. I kept dreaming about the data files, running through the presentation in my head, and thinking about how I could have done things differently or analyzed things differently. It was a lot. But Dr. A was right when he said, there's your life before the Econ Games and your life after. And I'm already looking forward to be a part of it again next year. So if you're someone who thinks, well, I'm not an econ person, maybe this isn't for me. Well, I was in your shoes, so think again. And now I'm here to tell you to take the chance. This experience has helped me grow in a way I didn't expect, and it reminded me that stepping outside of your comfort zone is where the magic happens. So thank you all so much for listening to my story.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Extremely proud of you. Our next presenter is Emma Rademacher, and I'll give you a little bit of background on Emma. Emma's excited. A minute ago over here, I was standing, and Katie in the front row was looking at me, and they said, Dr. A, you're super giddy right now. I could see that smile and that pride. I said, yes, you caught me, Katie. Because as I walked in, Emma was walking around introducing herself to people. And you might not think that's a big deal, but if you had known Emma 6 months to a year ago, she would have never done that. So being able to see your students grow right in front of your eyes and start to push their own boundaries makes me extremely proud. So Emma, come on up. I'm going to put this on your sleeve.
Hello, everyone. As Dr. A said, I'm Emma, and I want to talk about my experience as a Hale Fellow. This spring is ending my first official school year as a Hale Fellow, and just seeing the growth in everything that we have done this year makes me really excited for our next year. Thinking about only being halfway done and accomplishing this much is really crazy to me. So I'm an economics major, a marketing minor, Hale Fellow, research assistant, But when I came to NKU, I transferred after my first semester of freshman year. I was a pre-med student, and I hated it. I said I would never, ever go to NKU. If you grow up in the area, you're like, don't apply, don't do it. But transferring here is the greatest thing I've ever done. After 2 years of pre-med, I transferred to general business, and I was like, what am I doing? I go to class every day. I go home. I'm not getting anything out of this. In reality, I wasn't putting into it what I should have. So I took a semester off, and I was like, I'm spending all this money, don't know what I want to do, why am I doing it? So in that time, I was like, okay, I'm going to go back, I'm going to finish. I already have like 2 years done of college, I might as well. So I came back, general business, didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was like, I'm going to get involved. I'm going to do something bigger. So I joined Emerging Leaders Club after taking Principles of Microeconomics, and Dr. A came in one day to present. I actually don't remember what he presented, but it was very motivating, and yeah, you know, a classic Dr. A presentation. And at the end of it, he was like, I'm looking for someone to do some marketing work for my personal brand. And so since I told myself I'm going to get involved, I'm going to do this, I'm a marketing minor technically, I'm just going to reach out. So I emailed him, and he was like, we'll set up a meeting by this date, and then they didn't email me back. So I emailed them again, and then they didn't email me back, so I emailed them a third time, and then I finally got a meeting. And from then on, honestly, we just kind of started working together. I opened up to him about my journey a little bit, and then a little bit. Talking about feelings is like, it's a sore spot. We just don't do it. But we're working on it today. So we just started working together. I explained to him that I want to do more. My first official title working with him was a brand strategist, which did not last long. We worked on Reels a little bit, but what I needed more was a mentorship, and that's really what he has provided me. I actually ended up writing a research paper. This was one of the first things we had ended up doing last summer, the summer consortium. I wrote a research paper on the demographic of cryptocurrency consumers. I presented it at the 2024 Kentucky Economic Association. Jackson Fawaz and I had a nice drive on back roads for like 2.5 hours one day. That was really awkward. I'm not a good driver, and they chose me. So it is what it is. I went to the 2025 Eastern Economic Association. When I wrote my paper, I only had principles of micro. So I was not qualified. I didn't have the background. I didn't have the knowledge to present. However, I think I learned a lot more at the Easterns than at the Kentucky Economic Association. I got to see Princess and Fawaz present. I got to learn from other presenters. And I got to prepare myself with takeaways to come home and work on for when we go back and I present next year, hopefully. Then the research lab. This is probably the biggest thing I've ever been a part of. And being a part of it from before it even existed is something that's so crazy to me. The picture on the left is our summer consortium, which in my mind is kind of what blossomed into our research lab. This was a group, and we met once or twice a week, and we worked on our research papers. We were pretty disconnected from each other, to be honest. It wasn't a community. So turning this into the research lab, into a community with faculty, with community members, and just making it an environment that wants us all to grow and to help each other has really been special. These are some of my favorite memories. This is the first podcast we did with Dr. A in the top left corner, me, Fawaz, and Grace. And it was a very interesting one, and I also forget what that was about. In the middle is something that I'm super proud of. We were the first cohort of fellows to be recognized at the Hale College of Business Awards, and that was just something so cool. And honestly, some of it was our work, but a lot of it was work from the past fellows that are over in the corner. And just seeing everything that Dr. A has built just grow and being a part of that growth and that community is something super special. The Econ Games was something that was also very big for me. I just wanted to touch on it at the end. I volunteered to speak for our team at the Econ Games. And as Dr. A said, I would have never done this ever. I took his class last fall, and he would mention me because I had been working with him for like 6 months, and I would just glare at him if he like asked me a question. It was really awkward. But now I'm not afraid to speak. I am proud of what I am, of what I do, and the work that I do here. And I want to share it with more people and get more people involved so that they can go through the journey that I've been on, the experience, the growth, and just, yeah, I love our community. There was one podcast he did where he talked about building a community of curious minds, and that just has resonated with me. I think that's one of my biggest takeaways, and just, you belong in the room. You don't have to be super qualified. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the most knowledgeable. But if you want to be in the room and you want to learn more, you belong. This summer, I will be doing an internship at USI in the Commercial Lines Insurance Department. This would not be possible without Dr. A and Mrs. A through the connections that you guys have and all of the work that I've done here. I didn't even have a resume when I started. It was like blank because I didn't have experiences. And now I have to cut stuff out every time I apply to something new. I will also be part of the leadership for the Hill Research Lab, trying to fill Fawaz's shoes, which will be very hard. But we will try our very best, and I'm very excited for what this next year has in store.
All right. I promised myself not to cry today. Um, it, it is going to be hard because Fawaz has been on this journey with me for 3 years. Fawaz had the audacity to show up to my office one day and say, "I want to work with you." I'm like, "Who are you?" Right? I was like, "I have no position for you. I have, like, the fellows are full." I was like, "You could hang around." That was 3 years ago. He has never left. He always found a reason to hang around and add value. And that is something that I believe in. Before you're given opportunities, you need to find ways to contribute to society. So he took on projects without being paid, and he created the next opportunity for himself. So Fawaz is graduating in 8 days. So his space will be missed here, but he also has an amazing story. So I'm going to let you hear his story. Welcome, Fawaz.
Hi, everyone. My name is Fawaz Abdul Aziz, and Dr. Ed, thank you for the introduction. So my presentation today is about my journey at the Yale College of Business. And basically, it's about how being a student at the Yale College of Business and also a research assistant at the Yale College of Business have opened doors for me and also have created opportunities and built my professional development along the way. So first, my journey started in 2023, and my first big project I worked on was the National Endowment for Financial Education. So imagine working on this project as your first project. I had no skill sets, no confidence at all. But however, because I see Becca and James like working, they had a lot of confidence and also experience. I was like, oh, I'm going to beat them one day. And but I built my confidence looking at them, but also looking at also going to networking events like the Ready Cincinnati and BNKY and also Chambers of Commerce. I was able to build my confidence through this networking event because I was able to you talk to people and during this networking event, and also you talk about your value added in the program. And this was a way I was able to build my confidence. And this is also brings me to social media because Dr. A also pushes us to like post on LinkedIn all the time. And it's still difficult, but I try to post on LinkedIn. And this was a way for me to like build my confidence because through writing a piece on LinkedIn, you are able to communicate your value to people. And this is a way for everyone to be invested in your story, to be invested in your success story in College of Business. And this was a way I was able to build my brand and also to get everyone along, to take everyone in my journey. So, looking at my research papers, as a research assistant, you are required to write a research paper. And my research paper, the first research paper I wrote was the wage disparities between native-born and foreign-born individuals. That was in 2023. However, I didn't just stick to just one paper. This second, my first paper led to my second paper, and I would like to thank Dr. Sami for his for working on this paper with me because we worked on this paper together. And this paper is titled Measuring Labor Market Assimilations via the Convergence of Returns to Human Capital. And this paper also led to my third paper, which I'm working on currently with Mrs. A and also Dr. A, and which is titled Intrinsic and Extrinsic Factors in Determinants of Entrepreneurial Pursuits. And this paper is currently revised and resubmitted in a journal. And we are working on it for the next 40 days, and it's going to be submitted by May 1st, May 31st, 23rd, hopefully. Okay, so this and the story here is that as a research assistant, you don't have to stick to the bare minimum, just one paper, and that is all. But however, there are opportunities in the College of Business because you have to, and how I got this was through growth mindset and also curiosity. I was curious through my time as a research assistant, and I was always present in the room, even though I wasn't getting paid, but I was still there. And this is how I created opportunities for myself to write 3 papers with 3 amazing faculty mentors. So this is also like yeah as a research assistant you go to conferences, and my the first conference I went to was the KES 2023, and all the conferences I've went to, these 5 conferences, will be possible without Dr. Kirsten and also the accounting, economic, and finance departments for their investments in students opportunities in the Yale College of Business. And for the first conference I went to was the Kentucky Economic Association 2023. That was with Becca, the OG fellows, Becca, James, Dylan, Grace. And also this 2023 led to 2024 KEAs. And also I went to the Easterns 2024, 2025 with Emma and Princess. And this also I went to Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago in 2024. And this, I went to 5 different conferences, and this conferences helps me to bond with my teammates because we're in a different town, like in New York, also in Frankfurt, with my teammates. I was able to bond with them, and also I was able to see what other students are doing in their departments and in their schools. But looking at them presenting with papers in their hand, I told myself that I'm better than them. And why I told myself that I'm better than them is because why I told myself I'm better than them was because of what our faculty mentors, faculties are doing in the Yale College of Business. We are really doing an amazing job in teaching our students to be exceptional and also to prepare them for the labor market. And also the Econ games. As a research assistant, you get to go to the Econ games. The first Econ games I went to was in 2023, and I was a participant at the Econ games in 2023. But also this 2023 led to 2024. I was a team leader in 2024, and in 2025 I was a group leader. So this shows that you could play different roles in the research as a research assistant at the Econ Games. Because 2023, I was just managing myself as a participant, but also in 2024, I was managing my team. And in 2025, I was managing a whole group of 200 participants, which comprised of mentors, faculty members, and all, and also students. So you could play a different role. You don't have to stick to just being a participant, but also you could see yourself in a leadership role along the way through being a research assistant. And the L Research Lab, currently we are in the L Research Lab. And I would like to thank everyone that invests in our success story as a student, because this L Research Lab would be possible because it was an idea that we had last year, August. But this idea right now, it's a success story because of everyone investing in this community. And this community is about the faculty and also the students connecting together, and also connecting together towards research and presentations. And this leads me to this. What is next? And right now, I'm currently admitted to the University of Arizona in the business analytics program. And this also a GA. I was also offered a GA role in this program. And this program would be possible without Mrs. A. She believed in my value, the value I could bring in this program. And also, Dr. S sent this program to me through LinkedIn. I was like, oh, I'm going to apply to this. But at that time, I didn't believe that business analytics would be possible for me because I was in economics. I always believed that I'm going to go for PhD in economics. So, but I later applied and I got the GA role. And why I got the GRO, the real reason why I got the GRO is because the Dr. Hunter, which is the director of the University of Arizona, believed in my value. He saw my value through LinkedIn. He saw, oh, I went to the Econ Games. I'm a research assistant for Dr. A, and I'm doing all these amazing things on LinkedIn. And this brings me back to what I said earlier, social media. You have to be on social media. You have to communicate your story in there because it really helps along the way. And also, this shows that small steps lead to big outcomes. Small steps lead to big outcomes. Like right now, you won't believe it. You won't believe it because I didn't believe it when I started in 2023. But right now, I believe that all small steps lead to big outcomes. You have to be present every time. You have to be present. You have to be looking for opportunities along the way because small steps lead to big outcomes.
Obviously super proud of everybody, not just the presenters, but everybody that's been involved. One thing that I would like to highlight is everybody has a story around the Hale Research Lab. Everybody that's here is somehow connected to the Hale Research Lab and has a story around it. We are big believers that these small steps, each single one of them is a story itself. Don't undervalue the step that you showed up today. This step is going to open up another opportunity. The connections that you're going to make here are going to expand and compound exponentially. So do what you need to do at 100%. Acknowledge what your investment is, and you'd be surprised in 2 to 3 years what you're able to accomplish. We have some former Hale Fellows here. Brooklyn Stevens is actually now an adjunct professor here and having a thriving career in industry. Becca Wilson, we've mentioned several times. She's influenced the Econ games. She helped us build a connection with 3CDC. And Blake Weimer is honorary fellow because he was always part of our group and actually pushed us to think out of the box and comes back literally every semester to invest in this community. I really appreciate you all being part of the development of this. I don't know what the Hale Research Lab will look like in 10 years, but I can already tell you it's impactful. I appreciate you all. We'll open it up for Q&A because I think there's more stories that we should probably unleash here. Thank you all. Questions? Yes. I really appreciate you all being here and hearing the story. I'm a bit humbled by how often my name has been referenced here. The only thing I did was experiment and build this in a space that other people provided me with, encouraged me. We highlighted Darius, but every time he sees me, he says, "I love what you're doing." And we do that with our students, but we forget that our faculty as well need that encouragement. So this, what you're seeing today is, the product of many people on the background investing their time, their efforts, or just simply saying, I believe in what you're doing. And that's what I love about working here and working with the people that are here, and we try to build it in everything that we're doing. So if you showed up on a Friday of the last week of the semester before finals, this is exactly what this community is. And I appreciate you all. I have one thing for us to do before we leave, and that is every graduating Hale Fellow. Fawaz, come on up here. Turn around. Congratulations. Appreciate you. Mingle, we have the space. There's a lot of Hale Research Lab participants that did not have a chance to speak, but they have their own stories. Ask them. Thank you all for being here.